the Let's Master English podcast, and I'm your host, Coach Shane. Hello, everybody. This is Coach Shane. Welcome to another Let's Master English podcast. This is episode 94. We're publishing it on July 12th, 2023. Thank you so much for joining me. We've got lots to talk about. Of course, there is a news story, a fact from Country Shane. We're going to talk about special events in history and things that are happening today, and a question and answer section. And this is really important. If you like this Let's Master English podcast, please, there's two things I want you to do. You can do both or just do one. One thing is send me an email, contact@letsmasterenglish.com, and just say, hey, I like the podcast. That's all you need to do. That would really mean a lot to me. And number two, share the podcast or leave a review on iTunes or Spotify. Just say, wow, 5 stars. I'm enjoying it. That would really mean so much to me. Seriously, it would mean a lot to me. My job is teaching English, and that's what I do with my DDM and PERF students, which you can try for free. But to everyone else, I still want to help you, and this is a way that I can try to help as many people as possible master English, okay? So please do those two things for me, and I think that is enough chit-chat. Let the podcast begin. A Kentucky farmer has unearthed a remarkable treasure, over 700 gold and silver coins dating back to the American Civil War era, now known as the Great Kentucky Hoard. The collection includes a significant amount of U.S. gold coins from 1840 to 1863, among them 18 rare 1863 $20 gold coins. These coins alone can fetch 6 figures. Wow. This is a huge story. This is such a cool story. But my question to you is, how much did you understand? Oh, this is a really interesting story. So let's start with Civil War. Civil War. CIVILWAR. The Civil War. Many countries have had a civil war, including the United States. The USA had a civil war a long time ago. A long, long time ago. Back in the 1860s, America had a civil war. It was the North versus the South. And the simple definition is the North was against slavery, and the South was pro-slavery. The North was anti-slavery. The South was pro. They were for slavery. Okay, slavery, of course, especially in the United States in the 1860s, that involved owning black people, especially Africans. I mean, I think they all came from Africa. I'm not exactly sure. But especially black people, owning them as servants, as workers, okay? A very dark history in the United States. But as I have done my research, unfortunately, many countries have had a similar history. And so I don't think any country is actually innocent of slavery. It's a natural, unfortunately, it's a horrible, but it is something that evil humans tend to do. So in America, we had slavery. And fortunately, it ended. That's a good thing, but still we cannot forget the past, right? It's really important to always remember the past. So anyway, this story, something during the Civil War occurred. But this story is not negative. It's not a sad, horrible story. It's a very positive, amazing, shocking story for one man. And what is the story? Let's go back to it. A Kentucky farmer. So America, the United States, has 50 states. And one of those states is Kentucky. And Kentucky is basically in the middle of America. Okay? Kentucky, it's a country state. I mean, there's no really huge city like New York or Chicago or Los Angeles. It's a very beautiful state, lots of mountains, lots of farming. Kentucky, it's a very nice state. A Kentucky farmer has unearthed, what a great word, unearthed, U-N-E-A-R-T-H-E-D. So we have the word earth, E-A-R-T-H. And when we say earth, we think of the planet Earth. There's Mercury, Mars, Venus, Earth. What is it? What's next? Is it Jupiter or Saturn? I'm going to say Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. These are the planets, right? So Earth is the fourth planet. But in this case, we're not talking about the fourth planet. Another definition of Earth is dirt, D-I-R-T, ground. Okay, so if you have a shovel and you dig into the ground to plant a tree, or in my case, to plant tomatoes, you are digging into the earth, the dirt. So a Kentucky farmer has unearthed a remarkable treasure. That means a Kentucky farmer has dug into the ground with a shovel or maybe with his tractor, and he has found a remarkable and amazing treasure. And what is a treasure? T-R-E-A-S-U-R-E. A treasure is something that's very valuable. Riches, wealth. Oh my God, what kind of treasure did he discover? So think about the situation. Because we said a Kentucky farmer, I imagine a guy, and he is out in the country in his field. Maybe it's a cornfield, and he's digging, getting ready to plant corn seeds. But as he's digging, his shovel goes into the ground, and boom, he hits something strange. So he digs and digs and digs, and then he finds maybe a box. And he opens the box. And what's inside? A treasure. Something very valuable. Oh, this is exciting. Can you imagine the farmer? Wouldn't you like to be him? What did he discover? Let's listen. A Kentucky farmer has unearthed a remarkable treasure. What was it? Over 700 gold and silver coins dating back to the American Civil War era. Wow, that is amazing. Over 700 coins, gold and silver coins from the American Civil War period. So this is, right now it's 2023. So if we go back to the American Civil War, which started in 1861, how many years ago is that? That is 160 years ago, right? So he has found 700 coins that are at least 160 years old. And they're not just regular coins, because nowadays, look at your coins. And, in the United States, the coins. Are the coins made of gold? No. Are the coins made of silver? No. But a long time ago, 160 years ago, the coins were made of gold and silver. So these coins are not only old, they're actually gold and silver. So this is really amazing. This is really a treasure. So when you find a treasure like this, we like to give the treasure a name. And they did. They gave this treasure a name. Listen carefully. A Kentucky farmer has unearthed a remarkable treasure, over 700 gold and silver coins dating back to the American Civil War era, now known as the Great Kentucky Hoard. The name of this treasure is now known as the amazing Kentucky, in the state of Kentucky, Hoard. Great word, H-O-A-R-D. What is a hoard? A hoard is a large amount of something valuable that we hide. So my wife, and I know this, and if she heard me say this, she would be very angry. My wife has a chocolate hoard. Inside one of her drawers are many chocolate bars, and she hides them because obviously she doesn't want me to eat them, but we have 2 boys. She doesn't want the boys to eat them. And to her, these chocolate bars are very valuable. So we call them, or I call them, a chocolate hoard. She's hiding several chocolate bars that to her are very valuable. Now, is chocolate valuable? Well, to my wife it is. But what about gold coins or silver coins? Are they valuable? Absolutely. Yes, they are. So think about this. If somebody were coming to your house to steal your money, let's say you had $1,000, where would you put the $1,000? You would hide it. You would hide that $1,000. And in that situation, we could call your $1,000, where you hid it, your hoard. Where is your hoard? Where is your collection of money? Where is your $1,000? So now we understand the situation. A long time ago, during the American Civil War, there was a farmer. There was somebody who had 700 gold and silver coins. And because it was war, he knew the enemy soldiers were coming, and they were going to take his money. So what did he do? He hid his money. And how did he hide his money? He dug a hole in the earth, and he put his money, his coins, in the earth. And the idea, of course, after the war, he would dig up the hoard and he would be fine. But the problem is, something happened. I don't know, maybe he died. Or maybe he couldn't find the hoard. So until now, that hoard, that large amount of valuable coins, was hidden. Until recently, when a farmer unearthed that treasure. Let's listen again. A Kentucky farmer has unearthed a remarkable treasure, over 700 gold and silver coins dating back to the American Civil War era, now known as the Great Kentucky Hoard. The collection includes a significant amount of U.S. gold coins from 1840 to 1863. So in that hoard are many coins, a significant amount, many coins, U.S. gold coins from 1840 to 1863. So we got 700 coins. A lot of them are gold coins, especially from the dates of the years 1840 until 1863. Among them, 18 rare 1863 $20 gold coins. Wow. So if we look at a coin, now think about a coin in your country. What kind of coins do you have? In America, we have the 1 cent coin. We have the 5 cent coin, which is also called the nickel. The 1 cent coin, by the way, is called a penny. We have the 10 cent coin, which is called a dime. We have the 25 cent coin, which is called a quarter. We have the 50 cent coin, which is called a half dollar. And we have the dollar coin, which is called a dollar coin. That's it for coins. But different countries have different coins. And a long time ago in America, we even had a coin that was called the $20 coin. And it was made of gold. It was a real coin made of gold, and the value was $20. When was that? In 1863. And in 1863, that $20 coin, now in 2023, 160 years later, that's a very rare coin. If you wanted to collect coins, the chances of you having an 1863 $20 gold coin, forget about it. Almost impossible. They're very rare, R-A-R-E. But this collection, this hoard, this treasure had 18 of those coins. There were 18 1863 $20 gold coins. Oh my God. So I'm thinking that's probably worth a lot of money. And the next sentence tells us how much money those coins are worth. Are you ready? Listen, here we go. These coins alone can fetch 6 figures. And I should have added one word. I didn't, but I'm going to now. These coins alone can fetch 6 figures each. What that means is one of those 1863 $20 coins, if you sold it, you could get at least $100,000. So there are 18 of these coins. So if you sold all of them for just $100,000, that's $1.8 million. These coins alone. So there are 700 gold and silver coins, but we're just talking about the 18 rare 1863 $20 gold coins. Those coins alone, only those coins can fetch, F-E-T-C-H, can sell for, can bring in 6 figures. 6 figures. What does 6 figures mean? It means at least $100,000. $100,000 is how many numbers? 100,000. That's 6 numbers. $200,000 is also 6 figures. 200, that's 3,000, that's 6. $999,999 is also 6 figures. 999, So when we say 6 figures, we don't know exactly how much. It could be $100,000 or it could be $999,999. Anyway, 6 figures is a lot of money, even if it's only $100,000. If it's more, wow. Imagine this farmer. Now think about it. In your country, are farmers rich? I understand some farmers might be rich, but the average, typical, everyday farmer, you drive in the country, you see a farm, is that guy rich? Probably not. At least in America, the average farmer is not rich. But imagine if the farmer is out in his field and he finds a treasure like this. Oh my God, this is a dream come true. Basically, he won the lottery. I love this story. It's a lot of fun. And we have some really good words. Let's go over the vocabulary. Unearthed. 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 To discover or find something that was hidden or lost in the earth, in the dirt. Similar to unearthed, discovered, found, dug up. Treasure, TREASURE, a valuable object or valuable objects. Era, ERA, a specific period in history. Instead of era, we could say period. The Civil War era, the Civil War period, the Civil War age. Hoard, HOARD, a large amount of something valuable that is hidden. They hid it. HID, hid, hide. Collection, a group of objects gathered in one place and finally fetch to sell for a certain price. If I sold my car, how much would it fetch? How much money could I get if I sold my car? And a bonus one, 6 figures. In the United States, when we say 6 figures, it means 100,000 all the way up to 999,999. So the amount actually can vary a lot. But anyway, in the U.S., 6 figures is a lot. I hope you enjoyed the story. Let's check it out one more time. A Kentucky farmer has unearthed a remarkable treasure. Over 700 gold and silver coins dating back to the American Civil War era, now known as the Great Kentucky Hoard. The collection includes a significant amount of U.S. gold coins from 1840 to 1863, among them 18 rare 1863 $20 gold coins. These coins alone can fetch 6 figures.
Where education and entertainment come together. Let's master English. Do it.
How you doing, everybody? This is Country Shane, and I'm bringing you the facts. During the American Civil War, it was North against the South, but Kentucky said it was neutral. But the truth is, about half of them were for the Union and the other half were for the Confederacy. And here's the amazing part. Kentucky was the birthplace of President Abraham Lincoln, the U.S. president who eventually won the Civil War and freed the slaves. Wow, I did not know that. You know, when we talk about the United States President Lincoln, a lot of people think about the state of Illinois because that's where he spent a lot of his life. But he was actually born in Kentucky. And Kentucky, the state of Kentucky during the Civil War. The Civil War, everybody, started April 12th, 1861, and it ended April 9th, 1865. Anyway, the Civil War was basically the North against the South. And the people in the North were called the Union, and they were anti-slavery. I'm giving a very simple definition of the Civil War, but anyway, that's true. And the South, they were called the Confederacy or Confederates, and they were pro-slavery. slavery. Okay? So President Lincoln was fighting for the North, the Union, anti-slavery. And eventually they won. In 1865, the Union won the Civil War, and of course, slavery was abolished. There was no more slavery in the United States. So this is really interesting because, once again, President Lincoln was born in Kentucky, where they were split. The people were split. Half of the people were for the North, and half of the people were for the South. Abraham Lincoln, everybody, was born in 1809. He became the 16th president, and of course, thanks to him, slavery in the United States ended. Unfortunately, once again, the end of the Civil War was April 9th, 1865, and on April 14th, 1865, just 5 days later, he was shot. He was at a play, at a performance in Washington, D.C., and a man shot him. And that man, John Wilkes Booth, he loved the South. And Lincoln, President Lincoln, died the next day on April 15th, 1865. Time for a question and answer. Oh my God. You know, we have so many perf and DDM members, and they give me the best questions. You know, I prefer pronunciation stuff and idioms and phrasal verbs, but grammar questions, sometimes they're so important. So listen to these 3 sentences. Are you ready? Listen carefully. I had my difficulties. I've been having my difficulties. And I've had my difficulties. Do you know the difference between these 3? I think the first 2 are pretty easy. So the first one again, I had, H-A-D, my difficulties. D-I-F-F-I-C-U-L-T-I-E-S. So if we say I had my difficulties, it's past simple tense. And what it means is in the past, not now, you had difficult situations, right? There were problems. So, for example, in your case, you are studying English. If you're listening to the Let's Master English podcast, your English is probably pretty good. But maybe 2 years ago, or maybe 10 years ago, it was not this good. You had your difficulties. There were many struggles, but not anymore. Still, of course, things are not easy, but it's not like it was 10 years ago. Think about perhaps your marriage, or maybe if you're a dad or a mom and you have some boys, you have some children. Oh boy, when my 2 boys were 3 years old and 4 years old and 5 years old, it was so difficult. But now they're 7 years old, they're 8 years old, they're 9 years old. It's much easier. I had my difficulties, but not anymore. So the key with I had my blah, 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 in this case, difficulties, it was tough. It was difficult, but not anymore. Okay? What about the second sentence? I've been having my difficulties. So regarding grammar, this is called present perfect continuous tense, which is confusing. But anyway, the point is ing. I have been having ing, my difficulties. And the nuance is they are probably, the difficulties, the tough things, are still happening. They're still happening. Maybe not today. Maybe today is a good day. There's no difficulty. But Maybe tomorrow it will be tough again. So at work, I've been having my difficulties. Today was an easy day. There were no problems, no troubles. But every so often, every couple of days, every couple of weeks, there's a problem. And I don't know what to do. I've been having my difficulties. The nuance here is recently. Not really in the long past, not like 5 years ago, but recently, in the past week, in the past month, maybe even in the past year. There's a problem, there's a difficulty that you experience again and again. That's the nuance of I've been having my difficulties. Now, the final one, I've had my difficulties. Oh, this is a beautiful sentence. And actually, this is quite common in daily English. So in grammar, this sentence is in the present perfect tense, which means that at some time in the past, you experienced a difficult situation, which is similar to the first one. But what's different is those problems can still occur. Okay, does that make sense? So the difficulties that you experienced in the past can still have an effect on today or even tomorrow. So for example, I've had my difficulties with my manager. So with my boss. I've had my difficulties with my boss. So 5 years ago, we had a big problem. And then it was okay. And then 2 years ago, we had another problem. And then it was okay. But then again, a month ago, we had another problem. And right now, it is okay. But because of this experience, I've decided I need to find a new job. I've had my difficulties with my manager, which is why I'm looking for a new job. Does that make sense? The subtle nuance in these sentences is really small, but actually the meaning can be very different. Okay, so this is something that we talk about in DDM and Perf, and we have lots of examples, and we see real life examples. And, you know, when you study grammar, you can study grammar in a book, even on YouTube. You can watch, a teacher say, all right, let me show you the difference between past simple tense, present perfect continuous tense, and present perfect tense. And they show you, and they give you an example, and then you say, oh, yeah, I understand. However, the reality is, in a real situation, most people have no idea. Wait. What's the difference? I had my difficulties, and I've had my difficulties. Aren't they the same? What about I've been having my difficulties? Is that different? Oh, they absolutely are different. So if these types of problems are causing you a headache, then I absolutely 100% recommend you join DDM. And you can try it for free. Of course, this is my business, so of course I have to push my lessons. But this is what we study. So you can try DDM for free. Just send me an email, contact@letsmasterenglish.com, and you can join the hundreds of other students studying the same thing. All right? Today in history, July 12th. Yes, so right now it's July 12th, 2023. But what happened on this date in history? Well, in 1960, Etch-a-Sketch was first sold. Do you know Etch-a-Sketch? So I'm going to spell it. It's actually 3 words. Etch, E-T-C-H. the letter A. Sketch, S-K-E-T-C-H. Etch-a-Sketch is a children's game. And basically, it's a red square. It's a red rectangle. The outside is red like a picture frame. It's red like a picture frame. And the inside is empty. Now, on the bottom of the frame, you have two white dials, D-I-A-L-S. And the left dial goes up and down, and the right dial goes left and right. And if you use an Etch-a-Sketch, please Google the image. If you don't know what an Etch-a-Sketch is, Google it. And if you move the dials, you can create a design, a picture in the middle of the frame. Ah, yes, the Etch-a-Sketch. And this was popular around the world. So my question is, did you ever play with an Etch-a-Sketch? Again, if you don't know what it is, please Google it. Yeah, right now, nowadays, we still have the Etch-a-Sketch, and when I was young, I played with one too. I was shocked at the next story. In 1962, the Rolling Stones, the rock band from the UK, performed their first concert. The iconic rock band, Mick Jagger, Keith Richards, Brian Jones, Ian Stewart, and Dick Taylor made their live debut at the Marquee Club in London. And in 2023, 61 years later, they're still here. All of that alcohol, all of that drugs, all of those parties, and they're still here. Oh my God, can you believe that? In 1979, the Disco Demolition Night took place at a baseball game in Chicago. Basically, what this meant was in 1979, people started hating disco music. Do you know disco music? Oh, yeah, the Bee Gees, Donna Summer. There's lots of great disco bands, but they started hating disco music on this day in 1979. In 1984, we had a presidential election coming up, and the Democratic presidential candidate, his name was Walter Mondale, he chose a woman, Geraldine Ferraro, as his running mate. And this was the first time in American history that a woman was nominated to be vice president. Right now in the United States, we have a female vice president. In 1990, Boris Yeltsin resigned from the Communist Party. Dun, dun, dun. In 1997, The Lost World, Jurassic Park, was released in the UK. And this was actually funny because many scientists were curious about this movie, Jurassic Park. And they were watching the movie, and the scientists were saying, oh, come on, no. The real T-Rex dinosaur could not run that fast, and his voice was not that loud. This is crazy. Of course it's crazy. It's a Hollywood dinosaur. And actually, who really knows how fast or how loud dinosaurs were? Anyway, I thought that was funny. In 1998, congratulations, France. France wins the 1998 FIFA World Cup. They defeated Brazil 3-0. The tournament was held in France, and the victory marked France's first World Cup. And finally, in 2015, if you like, I was going to say soccer, tennis, Novak Djokovic wins the men's single at Wimbledon, defeating Roger Federer. Observances for Wednesday, July 12th, 2023. First of all, it is the 193rd day of the year. There are 172 days remaining. In America, the next holiday is Labor Day, and there are 54 days left until Labor Day. Halloween, 111 days. So we got a long ways to wait for another holiday. But anyway, today is Pecan Pie Day. Absolutely delicious. National Eat Your Jell-O Day. Do you know what Jell-O is? Jello. It's National Etch-a-Sketch Day and Different Colored Eyes Day. What about you? Do you have different colored eyes? For example, in my eyes are what they call hazel, Hazel. And in some sunlight, my eyes look kind of blue, but in other sunlight, my eyes look kind of green, and sometimes my eyes look kind of yellow. Yeah, I've got really strange eyes. But some people, their right eye is brown and their left eye is blue. This is very common actually in dogs and even some cats. Not so common in people. What about you? Do you have different colored eyes? If you do, today is your day. It's also Paper Bag Day. This day celebrates the invention of the paper bag. It was invented in 1852. And finally, it is the Simplicity Day. It's a day to honor the American author and philosopher and naturalist Henry David Thoreau. And he was an advocate. He absolutely loved living a life of simplicity. Live a simple life. How nice would that be? A new section, birthdays. Yeah, so we have Henry David Thoreau. He was born on 1817. He's a very famous American author. His most famous book is called Walden. And in high school, I read the book. It is a nice book, but for a high school student, for me, it was kind of boring. But it's a classic. Bill Cosby is 86 years old today. He's an American comedian and actor. He was very famous for his sitcom, The Cosby Show. Unfortunately, his fame has been marred, marred, by many allegations of sexual assault. He was a bad guy, unfortunately. Cheryl Ladd, a female, 72 years old, American actress. She is very famous for being in the ABC television series Charlie's Angels back in the 1970s. Does anybody know Cheryl Ladd? Ice skater Kristi Yamaguchi is 52 years old. Brazilian actor known for his various telenovelas, like, I'm going to try, this is Portuguese, this is Brazilian, everybody. Cabocla and Alma Gemea and Amor a Vida. Malvino Salvador is 47 years old. I'm sorry to all the Brazilian and Portuguese people out there. In China, here we go. Huang Xiaoming is 46 years old. He is a popular Chinese actor, singer, and model known for his films and television series like The Return of the Condor Heroes, The Message, and American Dreams in China. That sounds interesting. Anna Fegi, F-E-G-I, is also 46 years old. She's a Filipino singer, but she gained popularity in China and across Asia. She competed in the Voice of Asia competition, and she joined a Chinese musical several years ago. And another Brazilian actress and singer, Roberta Rodriguez, is 41 years old. She's best known for her role in the film City of God and the TV series The Slum. And finally, a Pakistani activist, the youngest ever recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize, Malala Yousafzai. Sorry about the pronunciation. Malala. Everybody knows Malala, I think. Yousafzai, maybe. She's 26 years old today. Pakistani young lady. God bless her, who is a female education activist, and again, the youngest ever recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize. So several of you have emailed me telling me, oh, tell me something about China. Tell me something about Brazil. So that's why I included China and Brazil, some birthdays in this story. So if you want me to include your country in this LME podcast, send me an email, okay? contact@letsmasterenglish.com. And that's a wrap for today's episode of the LME podcast number 94, published on July 12th, 2023. Thank you so much for joining me. We talked about the discovery of the Great Kentucky Hoard. We had a country Shane fact about the Civil War, your questions, and special events that mark July 12th. Did you enjoy today's podcast? Did you find it educational, maybe a little entertaining? I really want to know. Please send me an email, contact@letsmasterenglish.com. And if you enjoyed the LME podcast, please show your support. Share it with your friends. Leave a review on iTunes or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. This helps me reach out to English learners across the globe. And that's why I do this. So join me next time for more fascinating stories and valuable English language tips. Don't forget to subscribe to my newsletter at letsmasterenglish.com and get free listening and speaking lessons. And for a limited time, become a VIP member for free. Yes, you can try my VIP lessons and 2 weeks of live classes absolutely for free. Send me an email, contact@letsmasterenglish.com. As you step into the rest of your Wednesday, share a joke with a friend. Maybe some coffee too, or some tea. And remember, the more we share, the more we learn. Together, let's master English.